Welcome to Rise and Shine Daily Business Tech Boost with me, Charly Latham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and break them down into bite-sized tips you can use right away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine. It's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Latham. Please excuse the throat and the stuffy voice. I've ended up with a bit of a cold. I'm fighting it off. It's probably because I got drenched to the skin in the rain the other week, and I've just been a little slow in recovering. I will try not to cough and splutter into the mic as I do this, but please do just forgive me if I clear my throat a bit or I snuffle a little. I'll try not to snuffle too much over you. Episode number 439 today, and we're going to be talking about images and WordPress and how to optimize your images to display nicely on WordPress and quickly and not affect site performance and not affect your bandwidth usage. I'll come back to what all that means in a minute. I just want to go through some of the basics here. So it's really easy for us to upload an image from our phone or a stock image or an image we're sent from a photographer straight to our WordPress websites. The problem with doing that is that those images are generally quite physically large, as in the format of the image is physically large. The file size is also physically large, and that affects how your site loads. Let me go through what I mean by that. If we are looking at a image from like my phone, that can be anything from 2 megabytes and higher, 2 megabytes and higher, which is quite large. On a website, most images are down under 100 kilobits. Some of them are a bit larger, but they're typically down in the kilobytes. They're not in the megabytes. Anything that starts to even get close to a megabyte in size is huge, like physical file size. That is huge. Now, the file size generally translates to the physical size of the image as well. I'd have to check, but I'm pretty certain the images that come off of my camera as standard come out at like 17 centimeters wide and something similar tall if I'm looking at a landscape. So, 17 centimeters, that's bigger than my monitor. To get that to display on my monitor, it has to get resized down anyway. So we're not getting any benefit by putting the larger file size up. So we've got the physical file size, we've got the actual physical format size, the actual size that it is when it displays. That all translates to the amount of bandwidth that your website uses when it's trying to download those images. Now, when a website displays an image, what it does is when someone comes to the website, when a visitor comes to the website and says, give me this page to look at, the data comes from the website down to my computer and stores files on my computer so that they can be rendered and my computer can show me the text and the images that relates to on my computer, on my screen here. If you have an image on a page that is a megabyte, 2 megabytes in size, that's 2 megabytes of data that has to be transferred down to your computer to be able to display that page. Every time you refresh that page, if you don't have your settings correct, that image is re-downloaded every time. Now, let's just imagine it's only downloaded the once. But now imagine that you've got 10 people coming to the site to download that image all at one time. That's 20 megabytes of data that has to be transferred from your website to people's computers just to display that one page. Imagine you do that across 3 or 4 pages. We're now up in the 60 to 80 to 100 megabytes of data just to display a page. It's ridiculous, but that's what happens. Now like I said, it's really, really easy to do because it's just easy. We just take it off of our phone and we just upload it. The other part to that is that downloading that data takes time. And this is why you'll often see when people say, oh, you've got to optimize your images for SEO so that you get a good site rating, you get a good page speed rating. If your images are that big and you are downloading a megabyte of data every time that page loads, that takes time to do. A megabyte of data takes a certain amount of time to download. It depends on the speed of the connection from the web server, takes the speed of your connection to your computer. That is going to slow your page load time down as well. So you've got 3 or 4 things there to think about. First of all, you've got really large images that have to be resized down to be shown on your screen anyway. If you're resizing them down, you still have to download all the data each time that image displays, or each time that page is displayed for a visitor. Even if you're downsizing the image on the screen, you're still downloading the whole image size. It comes down and then it gets resized down as that page loads. That uses bandwidth. The other thing it does is it slows the site load down. So optimizing images is really, really important. That's what we mean when we say optimizing images. We mean making them smaller and making them web friendly. There are ways we can optimize our images. Now that I've given you all of the background as to why it's important that you do this, let's talk about how you can do it. You can do it manually. You can take your images and you can use tools, online tools or tools on your computer to resize your images. And I'm looking at my notes here. There's Tiny PNG, there's Squoosh. Don't you just love that name, Squoosh? There's JPEG-Optimizer. I'll put the links in the show notes today so that you can go and have a look at them. Tiny PNG is best for PNG and JPG or JPEG images. The file names, the extensions that I'm giving you are just different ways of encoding the image. Each one is different. Each one gives you an advantage and each one has a bit of a disadvantage. For example, JPEG, JPG, JPG or JPEG tends to give you smaller file sizes and relatively good quality, but they are a smaller file size in general. PNG tends to be bigger, but that will actually maintain any transparent backgrounds that you have. So if you're looking for a transparent background, you should be using a .png file. There's also WebP. Now, WebP, I'm just going back through my notes here because I've lost it. I want to make sure I give you the right information. WebP is a newer type of file type, it's a newer file type. It's optimized, as the name might suggest, to work with the web. It typically is about 30% smaller. Oh, there's my notes right there. It's typically about 30% smaller than JPEG or PNG files. It does support transparency and it supports animation. So WebP is quite a good format to use. It really is best to use for websites. It's just not many things do that as standard. As I said, JPEG is best for photos. It's a smaller file size. It's got a slight quality loss, but your eyes don't discern it once it's being displayed on the screen. PNG supports transparency, but it is a larger file size. So you can convert those, as I was saying here, Tiny PNG, Squoosh, or JPEG-Optimizer. They tend to do all the JPEG and PNG type file types. If you've got an animated GIF, I call it GIF. I know some of you are going to be screaming at me saying, Charly, it's GIF. It's GIF. I call it a GIF. Graphics interchange format, I think it stands for. They tend to be bigger. It's very, very similar to a PNG in that it maintains the transparency on an image. But GIF is used when you want to do animation. So if you want to do, like, how you see images that move and they're not videos, that's an animated GIF. You have got converters for that. There's EZ GIF, Easy GIF. There's GIF compressor. Like I said, I put all these links in the show notes. To do WebP conversions, you actually need to find a WebP converter. If I can find one, I will put it in the show notes. I believe you can get an add-on for Photoshop to do it, and I think maybe you can get it out of Canva. I wouldn't guarantee that, though. I'd have to confirm that. Other tools that you can use if you don't want to do it online, other tools that you can use to convert your images, to save them down to a smaller file size: Photoshop, Canva, and GIFsicle. Yeah, so Photoshop, GIFsicle, or Canva you can use. Just when you're doing it, make sure you are optimizing. So if there's buttons that say optimize with Photoshop, you've got to do an export for web and choose your format that you want. That will give you everything it does. When you do those sorts of conversions, by the way, it's not just that it's reducing the physical file size. It's not just it's reducing the physical layout size of the image, which will by default reduce the physical file size. It also takes out a lot of the fluff in the file, and it compresses it. It changes the way the file is saved so that it's a tighter save on the disk. It sounds strange, I know. It's a little bit tech magic. The question is what sort of sizes you should be converting these images to. I have a rule of thumb that if I'm doing a full width banner, it's somewhere between 1920 pixels minimum to 2000 pixels. Now you can normally get away with 1920 pixels wide, which is a really wide banner. Your standard monitor is about 1920 pixels wide. If you're doing a standalone image for blog or content, somewhere between 800 and 1200 pixels wide. I tend to go smaller, particularly if you've got it laid out and you've got a block of text and you've got an image to go next to it, and then you've got a block of text and you've got an image to go next to it. I tend to go somewhere between 600 and 800. I don't often go up as high as 1200. The thing to watch is that you are getting those file sizes down as small as you can whilst not compromising the quality of the images you're displaying. If you're doing thumbnails, somewhere between 300 and 600 pixels wide is usually good. Okay, so that's how you would do it if you were using an online image converter or doing it on your desktop. I'm not actually going to do any of those demonstrations. What I want to do though is show you that there is some WordPress plugins you can use that will actually do this for you on your WordPress plugin. You could go through and enable code and say, oh, I'm going to put in a filter and do all of this, or you can just put on a plugin. The fact that I'm suggesting that you use a plugin will tell you that I think it's a great idea, and I think using the plugin is easier. They do a heap of stuff for you. I'm really big on only using plugins when you absolutely need to. And in this case, I'm going to say you absolutely need to use a plugin. So what I'm going to do is flick across to my WordPress website here. I'm going to show you the plugin that I use. There's a couple of others that go around to do it. I prefer this one, and show you some of the options that you have with it and how you might use it. So let's go and do that. So this is my website. This is just a standard website. I haven't got much on this at all. This is, in fact, one that I have just installed for you guys so that we can see what we're doing. I'm already logged in, and you would have just seen me go into my WP admin dashboard. As you can see, there's not a lot on it. I don't have a lot of plugins. If I just drop down here quickly to plugins, I have the standard Hello Dolly plugin. I have this one, Smoosh, which is the one that we're going to use. And I have WPMU Dev Dashboard, which I will use later, but for now it's not active because all I want is Smoosh. I don't want Smoosh Pro. There is Smoosh and there's Smoosh Pro. Both are created by WPMU Dev. Smoosh is free, and Smoosh Pro comes with a WPMU Dev membership. I'm going to show you how to use Smoosh, and then I'm going to upgrade it to the Pro version and just show you the differences that you get with Pro. So you can just find Smoosh by doing an add new plugin, typing in Smoosh, installing it and activating it. I'm not going to show you how to do that. But then what we do, once you've got it enabled and once you've got it installed and enabled, come down here to Smoosh on the left-hand side. Just let's go to the dashboard. So it comes in, it says, do you want to, I haven't even set this up, so this is great. Let's go through the setup. So share anonymous user data. I don't. I know maybe you should, but I don't. I don't want my data leaving my website. So begin setup. Yeah, let's go and work through the begin setup. Automatic compression. So you can go through and do this as part of the wizard. When you upload images to your site, Smoosh can automatically optimize and compress them for you, saving you having to do this manually. So automatically optimize new uploads. Absolutely do that. What Smoosh will do when you upload your images is exactly what those online converters that I've recommended to you do. It takes the image, it resizes it down, it takes all of the noise out of the image and makes it a tighter save and optimizes it for your website. So we're going to say yes, enable it. Optimize images up to 2 times more than their regular Smoosh with our multi-pass lossy compression. I'm going to say yes. If you're finding that your images are really looking a bit you might want to come in and disable this and re-smoosh your images. I know, terrible word. Photos often contain, or XF metadata, XIF metadata, this is really important. Photos often store camera settings in the file, i.e. Focal length, date, time and location. Removing this data reduces the file size. Note, it doesn't strip any SEO metadata. Absolutely strip that data from your images, if only as a privacy protection. One of the big things we found is people will take a photo with their phone and it will tag their location in it. And then someone says, oh, I know where you live because you've taken this at your home. And look, I've pulled that out of your image. So make sure you are removing your metadata from your images. I think that's a really good idea for anything you upload to the internet. Okay. You can also have Smoosh compress your original images. This is helpful if your theme serves full-size images. Sorry, I don't mean to cough in your ears. By default, we will store a copy of your original uploads just in case you want to revert in the future. You can turn this off at any time. I would absolutely do that. This will actually help you if you accidentally upload a file from your phone and forget to resize it before you do. So if you've got a 6 megapixel, 6 or 12 megapixel image go up, this will help you by reducing the size down. So I'm going to say yes, compress my full size images. You should still always keep a copy of your originals on your phone or on your backup drive, but when you're uploading them to the website, make sure that you are compressing them. Okay, this is an interesting one, lazy load. This feature stops off-screen images from loading until a visitor scrolls to them. That's going to make your page load faster, it's going to use less bandwidth, and it's going to fix the defer off-screen images recommendation from the Google PageSpeed test. I'm going to leave it on. I am going to say that sometimes lazy load can cause problems with some themes and some other plugins. There can be some conflicts there. So if you're finding you've got a problem, I would come back down into Smoosh and make sure you disable lazy loading to start with. Okay, we're not going to upgrade to Smoosh Pro yet. We're just going to complete the setup. Oh, okay. So you'll see what it's done as we've come in. Image recheck has been complete. Resume bulk Smoosh. We'll come back to that in a minute. The dashboard gives us a lot of good information. How many images have been optimized? None. 0%. What's our total savings? How many images have been smooshed? Which directory do we want to use? So if we just say choose directory, you can tell it which directory to use and smoosh images that you've uploaded. By default, it will smoosh things in sorry. It will smoosh things in your media library. Smoosh mode, we've only got it set to super. We can't do it to ultra because we don't have Smoosh Pro at the moment. Don't really want to, we'll just go back to dashboard. I don't really want to change that yet. And we can see here from our dashboard, we don't have a CDN. I'm not going to go through CDN in this one. We don't have any next-gen formats. We need our Pro to do that. We've got lazy load enabled, and we've got smoosh mode enabled at super. From the dashboard, if we come down, we've got some options. We can bulk smoosh. So what that says is smush, maybe. Maybe that's smush and not smoosh. Maybe that's smush. What this is going to allow you to do is that if you've already got images uploaded, you don't have to worry about going through and doing them one by one. Smoosh will do a bulk service for you, and it will go through them all. Just run through a few other things. There's not much more we can do here because everything else is a pro option. So let's go to bulk smush. This is where we were. Tells us everything. We can choose our smush. Okay, again, super or ultra. We've only got it set to super. You can set it back to basic. Which image sizes do you want it to optimize? You can set it to all. I'd recommend setting it to all, but if you set it to custom, it will let you choose which of your image sizes registered to WordPress through your themes, through your plugins, through whatever else that you have available to you. I'm going to set it to all. Again, so under bulk smush, automatic compression, we can automatically compress images on our upload. Leave that on. That's absolutely key to us. Metadata I followed. Okay, image resizing. This is where I was saying that if you're uploading like a really large image, you can have it reduced down to a maximum size. As of WordPress 5.3, large image uploads are resized down to a specific max width and height. If you require images larger than 2560 pixels, you can override the setting here. So it will reduce, WordPress by standard will reduce your images to 2560 pixels wide, which is huge. You can set this and you can actually make it smaller if you want. You can make it 1024, or in this case, let's make it 1920. The maximum size we recommend for, and it will give you a warning. Just to let you know, the dimensions you've entered are less than your largest image and may result in pixelation. The dimensions you've entered. Okay, so yeah, if you have problems, you might want to go through and redo it. Enable this, so disabled scaled images. Enable this feature to disable automatic resizing of images above the threshold, keeping only your original uploaded images. WordPress excludes PNG from automatic image resizing. As a result, only JPEGs are affected by this setting. I'm going to leave it disabled. We're going to optimize our originals. We're going to back up the originals. Now, if you find you're running out of disk space, storage space on your server, you can turn the backup original images off. Just make sure you keep a copy of them on your computer. In fact, I'm going to turn it off. Make sure you keep a copy of the images on your computer. If we make a mistake, we do have a bulk restore option here too, which is great. Okay, I'm going to save the changes. Now let's go have a look at how this runs. Go back to the top of the bulk smush option. You're going to say bulk smush. Now I've got 35 attachments in my library, and you'll see here that it's running. It gives you a percentage, and it tells you here how many images have been optimized. Now this can just run in the background. I'm just going to leave that there, and what we're going to do, I'm just going to go and have a look at the media library while this is being done. So you can see I've got a lot of images already here. If I just go and do one of these ones at the top, click on the one at the top here. What we have is the details of it. It tells us the dimensions. It tells us how big the file size is. So this is a great file size. This has probably been optimized before I uploaded it. It came with the theme I installed to do this. But you will also notice that down here, it tells you the smoosh status and whether you can want to smoosh it or whether you want to ignore it. So if you upload an image, it doesn't get done automatically, or if you want to re-smoosh it for whatever reason, you can just kind of then hit the smoosh button. Now, I'm showing you this now because as we run through here, we're only up to 16 out of 35 images. We're not up to this one yet. I just wanted to show you that you could actually see the status of where you're at with your smooshing. We should be down here. Okay, so here's one that's been done already. It's 97 kilobytes in size. It's 750 by 860 pixels. If I come down, it tells us 3 images are reduced by 40.5 kilobytes, so 35% saving, 35.6% saving. The main image size was 56.88 kilobytes. If you do view stats, it will tell you, yeah, your full size is 39.9 kilobytes. So full is 750 by 860. So they've got this down to 39 kilobytes from 97. That's huge. The medium size is 326 bytes and the thumbnail is 247 bytes. So they've got this down at fair size and it looks really good. Let's go have a look and see. I just want this to finish. There we go. Okay. Now that that's done, you'll see that our images optimized in our library has gone to 100%. It's told us that it's saved us 2.2 megabytes just out of those 35 images we had. I think it was 35. We've saved 2.2 megabytes of data. And now it was 35 images, but now it's telling us it's 110. WordPress will create remember I showed you the different variations that you could have, the different types of thumbnail images you could have, size images you could have. It creates an image for each one of those variations. So if you only got 35 images, it's telling you you've got 110 images smushed, means that it's picked up all of those variations and done them. So that is how Smoosh works. It should give you an idea of how effective it is. What I want to do, so let's just go to our media library. And what I'll do is I'm going to go to my stock photo library. It's actually a really large one. Okay, so this image here, we're posting straight away. I don't know if you can see it down here, but it says the dimensions are 6,300 pixels by 4,300 pixels. The image size is 5.44 meg. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this to my website. That should upload. I should have enough uploads. Should upload. I'm going to upload this to the website, and we're going to have a look at how Smoosh works in automatic mode. So let's do that. So I'm just going to drag it. my library. There we go. It's uploading. See it uploading here? Now, it's a large file. 5.44 meg is quite large for an image. Let's click on it. Amazing. So it's resized this image down to 1920 by 1310 pixels because I said we'll do it to 1920. If you remember, I said set the maximum width or the maximum height to 1920, which has taken it from 5.44 meg down to 144 kilobytes. It's massive. If I have a look at okay. So Smoosh has given us a bit of a hard time here because the image size is too big. It says that 5 meg is too big for the standard Smoosh. So how about we go and enable WPMU depth. So it does ask you to log into your account. You do need to have a WPM Udemy account to do this. As I said, this is a paid plugin now we're going to be looking at. It's connecting me. It's upgrading Smoosh. Oops, we don't need that. Thank you. If I just go to have a look at the plugins here in the left-hand side for WPM Dev, there is a lot of plugins you can get with WPM Dev. It's telling me this plugin needs updating. I'll do that next. But Smoosh Pro has now Smoosh has been upgraded to Smoosh Pro. If we go down and have a look at Smoosh Pro and just look at the bulk Smoosh, you'll see it says 97%. That's because that extra image went up and we haven't been able to smush it yet. It's telling me I've got an attachment that needs re-smooshing. And then I can come down here and I've now got access to Ultra. It's going to give me even more compression and optimization on my images. What else has it given us options to? Under Smoosh now we can do a PNG to JPEG conversion. It auto converts PNGs to JPEGs. Don't do that. You normally have a PNG because it has a transparent background. If you convert it to a JPEG, you will lose your transparent background. So I really recommend you do not do this. Let's save those changes. Let's go back to dashboard and run down the dashboard and check what we can see in the dashboard. Now you'll see I've got all these other things available to us. Next gen formats. We'll go and activate next gen formats. It puts us into our option down here, next gen formats. So what this will do, this lets me choose, I'll get rid of the notice there. This lets me choose whether I want to serve my images as WebP or AVIF. I recommend using WebP. It's going to do a direct conversion. It's so that's going to serve images directly from your server to supported browsers without any server configuration. That's really that's the way to do it if you can do it. And what it will do is it will just take everything in our library and give us a WebP version of it to display. Highly recommend you do this if you can. Leave this disabled, JavaScript fallback. If you're having troubles, come back and use it. Supported media types. Don't worry, I'm not going to worry. Oh, that's for our, yeah, so it will convert JPEG or PNG to WebP. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you there. But what we're going to do is we're now going to go back to bulk smoosh. I want you to remember that big image that I showed you. I'm going to say bulk smoosh again. It's reset us to 0. it's doing its thing. Now, you see the notice here. It says, feel free to close this page while Smoosh does its thing. Enable email notifications to tell you when the process is finished. We're just going to hang around here. I'm going to go back and reload my library. We'll have a look at this. And you'll see that it says file processing is in progress. That's probably resizing that one. Let's have a look. This has been ultra smooshed. View stats. It's brought it down even further. What was the one we looked at? It was that one. So this has been ultra smooshed. I'm going to do a view stats. It's brought it down to 41.3 kilobytes, so a little bit further, not a lot. Like I said, this was already a fairly well optimized image to start with. 343 and 230, so that's pretty cool. How are we going over here? Right, I'm going to pause the video, and then when this is done, I'll come back and I'll show you the results on the big image. So that smoosh is done. 100% done. 92 images smooshed. 1.8 megabytes saved. 54.1% saving on our sizes, which is fantastic. So that's how your basic smoosh works, smush works. There's not really much more to do. I guess what I can show you is uploading an image to the media library, which we will do now. I'm just going to say add a new media, add a file, and I'm going to actually navigate to it rather than drag and drop. I'm looking for a specific one, that one. And so if we have a look at this image here, just mousing over it, you'll see that it's 6,300 pixels wide by 4,300 pixels tall. That's 5.44 megabytes. We're going to use this one. It's going to say open. It's going to upload it. And with any luck, Smoosh will try to run on it. And I don't know if Smoosh is going to run. I'll show you why in a moment. Okay. Let's go have a look at it. So it has automatically been resized down to 1920 by 1310. If you remember, I set in Smoosh that the max width or the max height was going to be 1920 pixels. So it's automatically set those dimensions. So it's not 6300. The file size is 144K as a result of that. So it's really, really reduced it from 5.4 down to 144K. Now come down to the Smoosh here. And it says that it's skipped because the file size of 5 megabytes is exceeded. Upgrade to Pro to smoosh larger images. So there is a limitation on the size of the images you can use with the basic plugin, with the standard plugin. So what I'll do is I will upgrade this to Pro. I've put it on WPMU Dev dashboard, and I have previously logged in, so hopefully it's kept me logged in. Fantastic. Now, if I come up here to the WPMU Dev dashboard and we go down to plugins, I need to find Smoosh Pro here. This is Smoosh Pro. We're just going to say install. So what that's going to do is that's going to replace the Smoosh plugin that I put in place. And it has now installed Smoosh Pro. And you'll see that our menu option here has changed to Smoosh Pro. So if I come down now to Smoosh Pro, it tells me that 96%'s been optimized because we've got that one extra image we've uploaded. Nothing else has changed here, but we do have a few more options available to us. So let's go to bulk smush. Tells me there's one waiting to smush. But we now have this option of smush mode. Choose compression level. I'm going to set it to ultra. It's going to give us 5 times greater than super, and it's still going to preserve the image quality. I mean, that might be a little bit of marketing, but it does a very good job of it. The ultimate choice for unparalleled performance. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to do it on all of our image sizes, but we can, of course, select the image sizes we want. We're going to automatically compress when we upload images. So none of this is changed. I'm not going to back up the original. If you want to use this bulk restore, make sure you've got backup original images on. Otherwise, you can't bulk restore it. Don't do PNG to JPEG conversion. I don't know if I covered that earlier, but PNGs are typically transparent, have transparent backgrounds. JPEGs don't. If you convert something from PNG to JPEG, you're going to lose any transparent backgrounds you have. So don't check that unless you absolutely have to. The other thing that I want to look at is this next gen formats down here on the right hand side. We're going to do a direct conversion of our images to WebP. We're going to set them to WebP. I'm going to leave legacy browser. So I skipped over that and I shouldn't have. Let me come back to that one. Sorry. The idea, if you remember, I was talking about WebP being a great format to display on your website because it's much smaller. It's actually designed to work with websites. But converting an image to WebP can be a little bit tricky. This gives you the opportunity. Smoosh Pro gives you the option to do that within the system itself. So I've enabled it. I'm going to do a direct conversion, which is recommended. I'm not going to deactivate it. And this is telling me to bulk smoosh now to serve existing images as WebP. And click Save Changes. Okay. I'm going to go back to bulk smoosh. And it started doing the conversion. So we're just going to wait. Again, we have to wait. Okay, so it's done. It's done at Ultra and it's 100% and we've got 13.8 megabytes saving, 81.9% savings on our image sizes. That's amazing. Let's go have a look at a couple though, shall we? Just to have a good look at them. The first one we're going to have a look at is our web hosting one here. You'll see that that's still at 126 because it's 1920 by 1310. But if we go in and look down here, first of all, we can see that all of the images have been smooshed this time, rather than it saying no, it can't do it, because it's the Pro version, it can do it. And this is the savings that it's giving us. Okay. Shall we go and see if how the WebP might work out? I think that's probably a good idea. Let's have a look here. So to do that, I'm going to go across to pages. Just going to open up sample page. This is just a standard WordPress 2025 theme, so it's the block editor. So forgive me if I'm not quite as au fait with it. I'm better with other things. Okay, we're going to set a media library, add an image from the media library. Yeah. We can select the aspect ratio of it. And we can choose the size that we want to use. Let's see what that does. If I say inspect image here. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this up. If you have a look down here in the image tag, this is where it gets really techy. We just mouse over it. It's actually saving it as a .webp. So we've got .webp on all of it. So it is actually serving WebP images from the JPEG image that we put up. If I go save as, it will save it down as a JPEG image for us, a JPG image for us. So it's serving it as a WebP, but it also knows that when we say save as, it will save it as a JPEG. So we're getting some fantastic savings on this page just by serving it as a WebP. And that's all done in the Smoosh Pro plugin. Once we've enabled the next gen formats and said activate this and then done a smoosh on it, it's created WebP files. You see here it says revert next gen conversion. We can delete the WebP files that have been created using this plugin, and it'll all go back. But this is how it's done. Like this is I'm really excited by this, in case you can't tell. Okay, so sorry for the voice, sorry for the coughing and the snuffling throughout. Let me just quickly recap. Images are really important to optimize. We want to make sure that the physical file size and the physical layout size is as small as it needs to be in the space that we need to use it. So the file size needs to be small so that when you're downloading it, when it gets downloaded to be displayed, it's only a small file size being sent down to you. The physical layout size needs to be the right size for the area in which it's being displayed. So if it's going to go across the whole screen, you want something larger, like 1920. If it's going to be on like half and half text, half image, about 800 pixels. If it's going to be a thumbnail size, somewhere between 300 and 600 pixels is generally the rule of thumb you might want to use. I use Smoosh or Smush and Smush Pro from WPMU Dev. It works perfectly well for me. I like it. I've used it for years. I know it sort of inside and out until they change the interfaces on me. There are others out there that will do this, of course, and you are more than welcome to use those. If you don't want to use a plugin, you can absolutely do it manually, and I've put the links to the converters that you can use in the show notes. I'm also going to give you my affiliate link for WPMU Dev if you decide that you want to upgrade and go for the pro version. If you want to use the link, I would appreciate it. If not, that's fine too. It's all good fun. Do you have any questions? If so, please leave them in the comments wherever you are watching or listening to this video. I'm sorry my voice is about to go again. If this video was useful to you and helpful, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell. Oh yeah, if you've got questions, come across to my locals community, askcharlylatham.locals.com, and join me there. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlylatham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.